cannot run away from anything, especially now at this time where all the energies are really high. It's sort of like there's a lot of light shining on this planet. And when there's light shining on the planet, all the dark areas have to come out and be seen in the light so we can change it and transform it into something else. So that's kind of what's happening with you right now. So it's going to keep happening more and more, and things will keep getting worse until you take a look at this, and maybe because now you're at a different place than you were when all these things happened to you a long time ago, like try to understand the situation in a different way than what you've been understanding it. Because the way that you've been understanding it was that little girl part of you, which is limited on knowing things, you know, because now you can understand things better, like your father, you know, like how he was raised and things that he went through, and it sort of like molded him into being the kind of person that he was. And that's what it has to do with. So if you could see these things in a different way, you'll release a lot of this, because it's just because you're holding on to that hurt. Like maybe he left you, like, you know, you left me, and maybe that's part of you that also likes to take care of some of these guys that you've been with, you know, maybe because of when your dad left and you're afraid to be left. So if you feel like you take care of them, you'll sort of like persuade them to stay in a way. It's like you want to be loved and seen.
Yes.
And I can understand why you feel that way, because of things that, you know, that you went through when you were younger. Now that you're at a different place in life, you can take a look. And I know sometimes we don't want to go back and look at these things, but it's never going to go away. As you could say, when things come up, you said you hear a song or something, it reminds you of it, and you start crying. And that's because you need to let yourself cry. You need to let yourself cry, and you need to let yourself get angry, because that's the only way that you're going to move past this. You got to release these emotions that are within you. And it begins with thinking about it and crying and letting it out. Things are not going to change until you sort of forgive your dad and forgive yourself as well. That's part of the healing process. You know, forgiveness is more for us than it is for the other person, because it kind of like, it takes all this weight that's heavy, because it's heavy to feel that way. And, you know, it weighs a lot on you, and it affects your life all around, your relationships and everything. Your relationship with men has a lot to do with your relationship with your dad. So once you clear that, then your relationship with men will be completely different. You'll be like, wow, you'll meet somebody who's taking care of you instead.